Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with the one and only esteemed trainer Jonathan Banks here in the building. Jonathan, good to be speaking with you, sir. How you doing?
Pleasure's mine. I'm great. How about you?
I have to argue with that. The pleasure is mine indeed. I'm doing good. All the better for speaking to yourself. Look, Terry Harper and Cecilia Brackhouse, you're training your charge for the victory. What's your scout report on Harper?
My scout report on Harper is she's a tough fighter. I think she's coming to win. She seemed like she's more focused now than she was in Ireland because now she's home. This is more of a hometown fight for her, So she's coming with everything. So, but we're very well prepared and very knowledgeable that this was going to be more so of a hometown fight for Harper. So we're looking forward to a victory though.
In terms of,
no matter what.
Sorry to cut you off, I apologise. In terms of looking at her previous fights, there was a contentious victory that she got over Natasha Jonas, and there was the fight with Alicia Baumgartner, which you emphatically lost by KO there. Are those two specific fights that you've highlighted in terms of game planning for the victory?
No. My game plan towards the victory has more so to do with, when I game plan, it has more so to do with my fighter weaknesses opposed to her opponent weaknesses. So that's my game plan. I don't look at her fights and say, oh look, you know what, she did it. Okay, let's go do it. That's not realistic enough for me. Because those two opponents have a completely different style than who I have. So I can't expect her to do the same thing they do, because they did what works for them. And Cecilia got to do what works best for her. I believe I got her in the best condition so she could do what works for her.
In terms of Cecilia, look at fighters they age and maybe they're not as good as maybe they used to be. How close is she, or how much of a peak has she retained going into this fight with Terry?
She's at her peak. This is peak season right now. Especially for her, this is peak season. So with it being peak season, she's fully capable and ready to box and to win this fight on what's that, tomorrow night? Yeah.
She's been at the top of the mountain and obviously fought since, looking to get back to the top. At any point that maybe the motivation was questioned, or was that never not a doubt?
You can't speak about the motivation being questioned in the sense of to get back, because all along with me, we stayed on top. So she came back to me and wanted to get back. And yes, I seen nothing. And I looked in her eyes. I said, well, honestly, I said, I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know what we could do. She had a fight scheduled. I told them, nope, you're not ready. We got to cancel it. She had another fight scheduled. I said, oh, still not ready. I need to see something in the gym to let me know that this is what you want to do. And once I seen it, I said, okay, boom. Take this fight, schedule it. After that fight, then we had that's when the Harper fight came along. And I said, yep, let's take it. And she got sick the day of, and now we here. So I believe she proved to me that she still have the fuel and the fire to push everything to the limit inside the ring. And if I didn't see it in the gym, I wouldn't be here today.
With that said, what sort of fight will this play out as?
It's to be a boxing match. It's going to be a boxing match. And that's pretty much the goal for Celia, to outskill her opponent. I mean, this is not a tough man contest. It's not a strong man contest. So the strongest man don't always win. The toughest fighter don't always win. But they say it's skills that pays the bills. So if she outskill her opponent, that will get her the victory.
Jonathan, I would love to pick your brain on a couple of things in the wider boxing sphere. First of all, at the top of the boxing tree, we saw Canelo defeating Jermell Charlo. A lot of criticism coming in Jermell Charlo's way for maybe not putting up the fight expected from Jermell, from the boxing public. Do you share that same sentiment that maybe Jermell underperformed and maybe didn't go for it in opportunities in that fight?
I don't know if I'm to criticize the man, other than my only Only thing I ever said about both Charlo brothers is the way they fight, the way they talk, and the way they fight don't match. That's the only thing I ever said about them. I personally think they both are good fighters, you know, but the with all the talk they have about the fight, and they go into the fight, and they performance don't match with their conversation. That's the only criticism that I ever had to say about them. But I think both of them are good fighters though.
In terms of a Canelo perspective, a lot of people were saying, look, maybe Canelo's showing signs of slipping. After that performance, do you still have those same questions? Do you still feel Canelo is showing signs of slipping, or is he still at the peak of his power as an elite level fighter?
How did he slip? I want to know somebody tell me what levels did he show? He walked them down the entire time. He kept letting his hands go as much as he could without being in a clinch. So I mean, he pretty much had his way from round one to the end of the fight. What's a slip with that? You know, I guess they expected him to knock him out. That's what they expected. But I think Charlo had his mind made up that no matter what happened, I may lose, but I ain't getting knocked out. Maybe that's what he had made up in his mind. I don't know. You know, but I didn't see any slips with Canelo. I just seen the same old Canelo.
Does Jermell's performance put you off wanting to see Jermell try his hand against Canelo?
Does his brother know? I mean, I think Canelo picked the right one. He picked the one he wanted to fight. I don't think it's be no point fighting the brother because he picked the one he wanted to fight. So now he's looking for something else. He's looking for a bigger fighter. You know, I think that's what Canelo may be looking for. He's looking for something bigger. You know, in stats, he's looking for something bigger. It may not be the same. May not be the brother. Maybe he may look for something bigger. You know, who knows? But you know, I don't, because if that was the case, he would have picked the older brother the heavier brother in the first place. You know, so I don't think he had plans to fight both of them. I just think he had plans fighting the one and moving on from there.
Another huge fight I want to pick your brain on, Haney versus Prograis. What's your assessment of that fight?
So yeah, Haney versus who?
Prograis.
Haney is going to be a hard fighter to beat, in my opinion. I think as far as the skills he have, he's getting more and more experience, and he's really coming into his own. So Haney, again, he's going to be one of the most difficult guys to beat as of right now. You know, I can't say too much about it because I'm not that much familiar. Because Haney had way more televised fights than his opponent. You know, so I'm not 100% familiar with him. You know, but as of right now, as far as what I see is Haney.
Fury Usyk is now signed, and boxing fans can get a bit excited, not fully excited just as of yet. But who do you favour in that fight if it does get over the line December 23rd or in January of next year?
For who?
Fury and Usyk.
I mean, you can't help but to give the edge to Usyk. I'm not rooting for any one particular one, but on the boxing standpoint, who got the edge is Fury. Fury got the edge because he's been in heavyweight longer. He's beat better champions in the heavyweight division. He beat more champions in the heavyweight division. So as far as he's just used to being around heavyweight, and they both are good boxers. And the problem that Usyk's gonna have, that he's got somebody that's twice his size almost, that can box just as good, have footwork just as good, if not better than him.
There's a lot of talk about this Wilder Joshua fight. It's not happening at the moment, but is this a fight? A lot of people in this industry, the boxing industry, Thomas Howes is calling for Joshua to retire and maybe not look at these bigger fights because there's a lot of jeopardy in terms of taking punches. Is a Wilder fight for Joshua advisable? Is it a fight he can win?
I mean, I'm not gonna say no from a gold medalist standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, give both fighters their just due, and say it's going to be a hell of a fight for any one of them to win. You know what I'm saying? Wilder has the equalizer of the punching power, you know, but AJ is a gold medalist. He knows how to pick apart and win fights. So we just got to figure out what type of strategies that he's going to come up with. You know, a lot of guys don't. They just believe in getting in shape. Let's get in the best shape and let's do this, let's do that. I honestly believe, because I was taught by a strategist. The late great Emmanuel Stewart was a strategist. So I remember him talking to Lennox about strategies, him talking to Vladimir about strategies. I remember these conversations. So therefore, this whole thing is all about strategy. If you put the right strategy together, I think the fighter can do wonderful things. So let's see. That's why I'm saying let's see the type of strategy, because we know what Wilder brings to the table. I think both Wilder and Joshua brings punching power, but obviously the hardest hitter is Wilder. You know, so it's just a matter of how AJ's gonna prepare. I'm not looking for either one of them to retire no time soon. Why? They both young. Why they need to retire? Is it because Wilder lost to Fury, so now he need to retire? No, I don't think so.
Last couple of questions for myself, and I'll let you go. One of my favorite fighters, probably still my favorite fighter, is Triple G. A lot of rumor and whisper around what his next move is, maybe potential retirement or a homecoming fight in Kazakhstan. Can you say anything about the future of Triple G? Will he have one last outing?
That I can't speak of because I haven't talked to him, and I don't want to speak for nobody, for him or Triple G Promotions. You know, so I haven't spoke to him about it because I've been tied up in different camps. So, you know, I think I'll reach out to him after this situation over with to see how he's feeling, see what's going on, what he's thinking about.
Trainers Union, Bomac came over and he's currently still in the UK at the moment. That make you kind of think more when you came to the UK at all about potential things that could happen?
Say that one more time.
About Bomac still being in the UK at the moment. He's got a date coming up to kind of decide whether he's going to be still incarcerated or be released, essentially. Brian McIntyre, Bomac.
Oh, Bomac.
That made you think any more when you were coming over about just kind of potential things that could go wrong, I guess?
Nah, I didn't even think twice about it, honestly. Yeah, so, no.
Fair enough. We'll bring this back to Terry Harpin to City Breakhouse. Look, when foreign fighters come over anywhere, but maybe especially British soil, sometimes they have the thought in their mind, like, the judges might not favour the away fighter here. Is that thought in your mind? Is that a thought in the mind of the camp at all? Has it been broached about the judges?
That's a thought in everybody's mind, everywhere they go. Any fighter, if you fight across the street and this is not your area, you have that thought process. So the thing is, the city just have to know what she's up against. She's not up against just Harper. She's up against a hometown decision too. You know, this is the reality of boxing. You know, so that's no criticism to no one. But the reality of boxing is you got to go into somebody's house and to take someone's title, you must put on a super strong performance. And that's what she's prepared to do.
Absolute pleasure speaking to you, Jonathan. Wishing you all the best for the weekend. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out. Great conversation.